به نام خدا سلام عرض
In the
می‌کنم
name of
خدمت
God.
عزیز خانم
Hello, dear viewers, ladies and gentlemen. In this video, we want to talk about a really practical topic. You know, friends, many times there are certain actions, words, and behavioral tips that are pretty hidden and usually overlooked in personal development training. But these hidden little details are what can change how we relate to others, and maybe even cause us to lose a bit of respect in their eyes. I want to share a list of these really important and practical tips that, as I mentioned, some of these things are really hidden, so I want to share them with you. Using these parameters and indicators, each of us can take a little time to evaluate ourselves. If we notice these points in our behaviors, actions, and ways of speaking, we should work on fixing them instead of ignoring them. That really helps improve all of our personalities. One of the first things I want to talk about is how we often over-explain our decisions. Sometimes, when we're trying to make a decision, we end up explaining it way too much. And that over-explaining actually messes things up. So, pay close attention to that. Don't explain too much. Don't worry. Just let it do its thing. You know, this is really important. When you explain something too much, it kind of shows, indirectly, a lack of confidence. Because when someone isn't sure their point got across, or if they're good at speaking, or if they actually manage to communicate their message, they keep wanting to add more and more explanations. That just messes up the flow. Every extra explanation makes it harder for the people listening to us, our audience, to follow along. Sometimes, when we keep giving excuses and over-explaining, it just makes people question what we're saying. We should answer exactly what's asked without adding extra details. Strong people make decisions calmly and firmly without going into too much explanation or backtracking. This is really important. If there's a situation where you need to explain something or get asked a question you don't know the answer to, it's okay to not say anything. Let's try to practice that. Sometimes saying less is way better than saying no and causing a bunch of unnecessary problems later on. The second point is something I've titled psychologist, being everyone's support. You know, constantly listening to other people's problems can sometimes drain your peace of mind. It kind of sucks your energy out. I even tell my friends who are therapists, psychologists, or counselors that every now and then they really need to take a break from it all. I mean, we're human after all. When I'm exposed to these issues too much, like if someone has a problem and, say, I have back-to-back counseling sessions all day long, it wears you down. People come and sit down, talking about their pain, their worries, their problems, their struggles, and it affects you. It affects me too. We're all like that. It affects you as well. So sometimes people are really good, honest, kind-hearted. Maybe many of you who kindly follow this channel are definitely among those good people. You want to help others, but don't forget, if you want to help, and I stress this, get involved in areas where you actually can make a difference, and avoid getting involved in areas where you can't. Don't let your mind constantly soak up all this info, stories and messages that are full of pain, struggles and problems. You can't do much about it anyway. You're just wearing yourself out emotionally. This really drains your energy. It's great to be empathetic, but we have to know our limits. Help where we can, sure, but we're not responsible for other people's lives. If someone made a mistake because of a bad choice, help them fix it. But don't sit there stewing over it. That just causes more problems. We can't be everyone's support system. Let's be human. Let's not forget that. So it's important to always keep healthy emotional boundaries in our relationships. The third point, dear friends, is something that often undermines the subtle respect others have for us, joking too much about ourselves. Some people joke with themselves. Joking can actually be a good way to lighten the mood and is sometimes necessary. But people who constantly joke and make fun of themselves, like walking around throwing sarcastic remarks or teasing themselves, even if they're respectable, it can give others the wrong impression. He doesn't mean to offend. He wants to joke around. but he tries not to make his jokes or what he says depend on hurting someone else. He's a really decent guy, but then he ends up blaming himself for it. When he does that, it might come off as being dumb or forgetful, or like we're from some far-off place or something. He tries to balance things out with humor, but it just backfires. Constantly doing this ends up making people respect you less. People can tell that behind all these jokes, there's a lack of self-confidence. It shows. We should try to be more easygoing and friendly. Smile and be kind, but don't lower your worth just to make others laugh. Keep that in mind. Next, about supporting ungrateful people. Friends, those who only take and never appreciate it. They accept help, but don't acknowledge it. You do them a favor, they take it but never repay it. They don't even say a simple thank you. Dear friends, kindness without balance can sometimes turn into weakness. Some people just don't have the sense or awareness to see your kindness as kindness. Sometimes, when you keep doing favors, they start to see it as their right. For example, here's the deal. You're a person with a car, and in the mornings you want to go to work. Your co-worker lives close to you, so you tell them, "Hey, tomorrow when I head to work, I'll give you a ride." You do the same thing the next day and the day after that. No obligation, just a favor. Then, for some reason, a week later, you don't pick them up, or don't want to anymore. They get upset and ask, "Why didn't you come for me?" But they don't get that you never had to do it in the first place. It was a kindness, not a duty. So you see, we need to base our relationships on the other person's character. If we get hurt here ourselves, we'll see. Another thing is pointless apologies. Sometimes people want to be humble, down to earth, good people, but they keep apologizing for no reason. They're constantly saying sorry for every little thing. Why do you say sorry? Did you actually do something wrong? We should only apologize when we've truly made a mistake and need to say sorry. We should never be prideful or arrogant. Don't apologize unnecessarily. This is really important. But if you haven't done anything wrong, why apologize without a reason? When you apologize too much, what happens is that deep down, the other person starts seeing you as someone whose words don't really matter anymore. They think, "Oh, this person is always apologizing, I won't take them seriously." So please, I really urge you to pay attention to this. The next point, the sixth one, is that some people get into the habit of constantly seeking approval from others. When your life is all about trying to please people, over time, it turns into an invisible prison. Relying on external approval is never a good thing to build your life around. True respect comes from sticking to your own values. Don't forget that. I have my own values, and I stick to them. Whether others approve or not, this is who I am, and you should respect that. Don't change your values just because others approve or disapprove. Like if someone values honesty and doesn't want to lie, that's their principle. Now imagine they're in a group where everyone's lying, exaggerating and talking nonsense. To fit in, they might start lying too. Why? Just to be accepted by the group and blend in. But that's wrong. Don't chase after other people's approval. Don't forget, if you're always looking for others' approval and trying to keep everyone happy just to be accepted, over time, it turns into an invisible prison in your mind. The seventh issue is about staying silent in the face of disrespect. Sometimes people experience disrespect in their interactions with others, and it keeps happening, but they just stay quiet. This is a really delicate point, so pay attention. They think that if they defend themselves, they'll be seen as aggressive. That's never true. If someone disrespects you unintentionally, don't make a big deal out of it. Maybe it just slipped out of their mouth once. He was wrong and later apologized, but sometimes the other person is just being sarcastic and nasty on purpose. They're always trying to hurt you, attack your character and put you down. If you stay silent or ignore it, it just encourages them to keep doing it. Don't forget, you have to stand up for yourself. Defending yourself isn't being aggressive, it shows self-respect. You're basically telling them, hey, I value myself and I won't let you talk to me however you want. This is super important. You should definitely respond, but do it calmly and firmly so they know you respect yourself. I value my principles, and you should respect them because it's really important for your dignity and self-respect. Now, the eighth point is about ignoring body language. Look, friends, when we communicate with someone, even our body language sends messages. I might say something without agreeing or disagreeing, just smile. That smile doesn't have any words, but through my facial expression, it sends you a message. My smile could mean I agree, or nodding my head might mean approval, while frowning could mean I don't accept or I'm angry. So, you see, words, you might not be saying it out loud, but your body is sending messages, like how you move your hands, how you sit, your body language. Weak body language can sometimes show hesitation and lack of confidence in relationships. So, you need to pay attention to your body language. When your shoulders are straight, your gaze is steady, and your movements are coordinated, it shows that you're confident. When you're sitting across from someone, you should come across as fully confident. So focus on your body language. When you sit, talk, and have a conversation, let your confidence show through your facial expressions, your shoulders, how firmly you sit, and your overall posture. If you're confident, people will always respect you, no doubt about it. Confidence breeds confidence. But if your body language is weak or shaky, over time your confidence will fade. For example, imagine you're at a party where everyone is sitting properly, polite, serious, and composed on the couch. Now, if someone is slouching or sprawled out awkwardly on the couch, you'd probably think they don't know how to sit properly. You'd assume they lack manners and aren't a respectable person, so it feels okay to treat them however you want, because that's just their personality. So, you see, this really matters. The last and ninth golden tip is not to underestimate your achievements. Hey friends, humility is great. Humble people earn a lot of respect. But look at who you're dealing with. If the person you're talking to is arrogant, arrogance just feeds on arrogance. Don't be overly humble around someone full of pride because they won't get that you're being humble. They'll just think you're putting yourself down because they see themselves as above you. Meanwhile, you're the one showing humility. Being too humble in front of people who don't understand it can make you seem less serious and lower their respect for you. That's really important. But there are times when the person you're dealing with, a person like that is smart, understanding, steady and perceptive, and they get your humility. They know that if you don't brag about yourself, you're actually a fruitful tree. You're a deep person. You have to be humble around someone like that because they have the sense to appreciate it. Otherwise, a lot of people, because they lack culture, don't have the necessary awareness or understanding. If you try to be casual with them, they'll take advantage of you. Don't forget that. We shouldn't let anyone treat us like that. Whoever they are, my boss, my supervisor, my manager, or someone I'm constantly around, they need to respect me. I'm here. Don't put yourself down in front of anyone just because you feel you need to. We only bow to God. No sucking up, no groveling. We're human and valuable, and we have to keep our dignity. Always keep your head up. Excessive humility is a no-go. A wise person is humble, and the wiser they are, the more humble they tend to be. But the things you've achieved, degrees, good education, money you've earned, don't belittle them. Your pride and success aren't arrogance. It's healthy self-respect. Just don't brag about it, that's it. So, you got a great degree? Cool, you earned it. It's your achievement. There are two kinds of, you can handle it in two ways. One, you say, hey, my degree is from some crappy fake place, and keep putting yourself down even though you actually worked hard. That's not right. You did put in the effort, so don't do that. On the other hand, if someone doesn't call you doctor or professor and you get offended, that's pride too. We shouldn't base our self-worth on academic titles or fancy social labels. Like when someone gets upset because we didn't call them professor, that's pride. But when you've genuinely achieved something, you should recognize and respect your accomplishments. Respect. Consistent behavior and valuing ourselves is how we earn respect. It's me who teaches others how to talk to me, how to treat me, how far to go with me, and where my boundaries are, through how I speak, how I sit, how I connect, and my body language. Every one of us needs personal space, and it's up to us to protect our dignity. If I joke around inappropriately with someone, I should expect them to do the same to me. If I get too involved in someone's life and let myself be nosy, I should be ready for them to be nosy in mine. Here are some answers for you. I should know how to speak, how to respect personal boundaries, so that these limits of respect stay intact. I hope this video has been helpful for you. Thanks so much for your kindness, for liking, and for sharing this channel with your friends. I really appreciate it, and I'm grateful to have you all. Wherever you are, I wish you all the best. Yours sincerely, Amir Mehrdad Khosravi. Also, sorry to bother you, but if you're interested, please join the Telegram channel via the link above. Sometimes I share my handwritten notes there, which might help us connect better in our interactions, or if you want. Stay in touch through the admin of this Telegram channel. Take care and all the best, yeah.